Some of you may or may not know that the Kingdom Hearts series actually has a line of mangas. Not all Kingdom Hearts games have mangas, but the ones that typically don't do have novels, or in some cases both. The artwork for these mangas and novels are typically done by a person named Shiro Amano. They've been working on the mangas and novels artwork since the mid-2000s and are still going very strong today. There's a lot of people that have gone into the Kingdom Hearts series because of these novels, because of these mangas, and it served as a gateway for them to get into some of the games. Or in some cases, they're a very nice alternative to the Kingdom Hearts experience you would normally have on your console or your handheld devices. These versions of the Kingdom Hearts stories are a lot looser, pretty faithful adaptations, but in a lot of cases, they're a lot more jokey and a lot more expressive, and it comes off this way because of how good the artwork is. Something that old PS2 static faces couldn't quite capture as well. But these novels, these manga artworks, they really do some of these scenes beautifully. And towards the late 2000s, there was a book released called The Artwork of Kingdom Hearts, focusing mostly on not the artwork from series director Tetsuya Nomura, but the artwork from the novel and manga artist, which I find really interesting. And as I was purchasing my Kingdom Hearts series Ultimania earlier this month or late last month, I saw this book as well, and I never heard of it before, but I decided to order it and see what it was all about, and it looked really cool. And it took a very long time to come in, but I finally got it, and I looked through the whole book, and it is beautiful. Now, I must be honest here, I must be transparent. I have not read every single Kingdom Hearts manga. I'm very aware of them, and I'm very familiar with a lot of the artwork from it. I mean, you guys have seen me using some of my thumbnails, you've seen me switch to Twitter or Discord profile pictures of those artworks, and it's because they're very good. And I'll scroll through some of these mangas just so I could see how the artwork is, but I haven't read them from beginning to end. I want to save that sort of experience for a future video, or future series actually, if that's what I had in mind, where maybe we try and compare, how the games and mangas actually differ. Which, from what I do know, they do differ in quite a few instances. But we can get to that another time. Today, I just wanted to talk about and show off some of this artwork briefly, and talk about how this book is. Now, this book isn't gigantic or anything. It's definitely no Ultimania. I mean, the Ultimanias are like humongous, like phone books almost, or maybe half the size of one. But it does contain a lot of artwork from the mangas, some of which I actually don't believe gets colored until this book. So there's a lot of scenes in here, both familiar, both new interpretations, and it's really nice just seeing this art style, seeing this sort of angle, expression on these characters. I think a big appeal for the mangas, for the novels, for a lot of people is actually that, how expressive some of these scenes are. We all know that the Kingdom Hearts series is a very early PS2 RPG, and the characters aren't quite as expressive in animations as they are nowadays in games like Kingdom Hearts 3 or 0.2, but the voice actors, atmosphere, overall aesthetic still made scenes come across in the way I would say they were intended. But in these mangas, in these novels, in some of these artworks, there's a lot more expressions on the actual characters' faces, and it creates a little bit of a more loose environment in some situations between friendships like Sora and Goofy, or Sora, Riku, and Kairi, doing a very good job at capturing the sort of wacky nature that is the Kingdom Hearts series, being like this big crossover between Disney and Final Fantasy. But there are some very serious artworks like from these mangas and in this book as well, a lot of which involving Riku and Namine. There's this one really just like unsettling drawing with Maleficent and Riku in the scene in Kingdom Hearts 1 where Maleficent is kind of like persuading Riku to kind of go to her side, showing him that Sora doesn't care about him or doesn't care about Kairi, manipulating Riku to think that just because Sora's having fun with Donald and Goofy, that he doesn't care about them, doesn't prioritize them. Or even this scene in Chain of Memories where Riku sees Mickey towards the end of his journey, and you see this little scene like in the top left of Riku's just hope, you know? And they capture this sort of expression really, really nicely. And they do a great job at it. There's also other like really cool pieces here as well that I don't even know like what manga they would be from or novel they'd be from, but they just look extremely cool and are very nice artistic pieces. Like this one with Namine and Kairi in their own rooms. You see Kairi on the right in like the cave that her and Sora like drew in. Namine in her room in the castle, and it's showing like the connection they both kind of have to each other, like the two sides sort of thing. And I don't know how to describe it with words, but it's really, really nice. The Kairi and Namine drawings in general in this book are really, really good. I don't know what it is about the way Shiro Amano draws Kairi and Namine, but you can just feel like exactly what they're feeling just off of the expression alone. And you definitely get that out of the games to a degree as well, but it's to an even larger one in these manga images. Not at the fall of the games at all, of course, because they're completely different mediums. But it's really cool seeing like different interpretations of these. There's like a lot of like other really neat drawings in here too that you don't see anything like in the games. Like these very cool images with Marluxia, Larxene, and Axel that are like covers for Chain of Memories, posters for Chain of Memories, and like they're really, really cool. You have like this Roxas Christmas picture, which I know a lot of you guys have probably seen before. If there was a criticism I would give for this book, I would say that some of the pages are a little like weird in terms of how they're laid out for the artworks. You could tell that for some of these, they didn't quite have in mind exactly how they were going to format or fit these artworks on these pages. Like I'm showing you screenshots here of like some artwork just being stretched out across pages, which is not super bad at all. I've seen books do that, but the way they kind of do it kind of obstructs the artwork a little bit, and I think it just could have been done a little bit better. But overall, there's not too many instances of this, so I wouldn't say that it's too big of a deal, nothing to stop a purchase or anything. But I just wanted to talk about this. I thought this was really cool, and I hadn't heard of the book until around a month ago, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. You guys can search this book up online. It's called Shiro Amano, the Artwork of Kingdom Hearts. I found mine on Amazon. I don't know if they're still printing these books or anything. Mine was in pretty good quality, I'd say. If I find more like types of books like this, or like just any rare sort of Kingdom Hearts like books or items or anything, I would love to like share these with you guys. I've always wanted to do videos kind of like this, just finding random stuff online and just talking about it. I definitely want to do more videos on the Kingdom Hearts mangas because they truly do deserve like a lot of attention because they're really interesting the way they're made, and the artwork is one of the biggest reasons why. However though, as usual, if you guys enjoyed today's video, you already know what to do. Leave a like, share the video with a friend or a family member, and last but not least, if you have not already and want to become part of the union, all you have to do is hit that red subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, you guys. Bye.
Now she's a daydreamer. She's always thinking about him. No more room in this picture for you to fit in. Now she's crying on the phone, telling you she's not good enough for him. When you think that she is perfect,